Well, if I come
Yes.
if I come across a word that I don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
I try to read the whole sentence and try and get guess what the word means.
Yeah, what it means. Yeah. So try to figure it out of the context, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
this is one
I
of
try
the
to figure out what the word means.
Yes. So just to try, like when we have any hard words, and we will see hard words, even if we try to memorize a lot of sophisticated words, for sure, like we can never be sure, 100% sure that we will not, like, see any new words in the test. So we should, be able to deal with such new words. In general, we're lucky enough to know that there are some kinds of things called context clue. Context clues, there are so many clues in order to understand the meaning of a new word. Number one, we have definition clues, synonyms, antonyms, comparison, examples, inference, or logic. So we're going to have an example for each one. And then, inshallah, we're going to have a very simple worksheet. We are going to answer it together. And after that, inshallah, we're going to check the writing. Okay, so now let's start with definition. Yes, let's start with definition. Here we have this one. What's the definition clause? What is definition clause? Whenever you have any hard words in the test, it's followed by verb to be, is or are or was or were, or it's followed by sentence like which means or that means, by like words like that is or which is or that's to say and so on. Mostly speaking, whatever comes after it explains it. So here, for example, like we have the word psychiatry. What does psychiatry mean?
The treatment of mental illness.
Yes. So psychiatry starts with the word psych. Like you're just speaking psych is a study, like psychology is a study of mind. A psychopath, the person who's mentally retarded, retarded. Psychology is a study of the mind. So I have this one, the word psych, like even if we don't understand, like if it's the first time to see the word psychiatry, so it starts with the word psych, so it has to do with the mind. So in the test, for example, you have the word psychiatry, maybe like you're not supposed to be familiar with, you're not supposed to be in the test, you're not supposed to be familiar with all medical terminology. Like we know no one is familiar with all like terminologies of every field. So you have this one, for example. So if you have any sorry, I just like to make it black. So if you have any hard word which is like more specialized, I mean like is a term, whether engineering terminology or medical terminology or religious terminology, usually speaking, it's followed by its definition. So just when you see that word, just like don't be afraid, just read whatever comes after it. Most probably they defined it in that way. So here, like we should pay attention to the words be, it means like is or are or was or were, because like am, like to I, means the word means that is or involves, or be called is called, which is called, or which is known as, and so on. Okay, so we just pay attention to them. And as I told you, when you have any unfamiliar term, like the meaning via like this way, the definition. This is called definition clause. This is the simplest way. Another thing, we have punctuation clause, which means here we have different things. You can have a hard word, for example, the word nicotine. If we don't understand what nicotine is, whatever comes, if you have any hard word in any exam, and then this hard word followed by a group of words set off by commas. So in that case, like this is in English, we call it an oppositive phrase. The oppositive phrase has one function, which is clarifying the noun before it or modifying the noun before it. So let's say, for example, like I don't know what nicotine is. So here we have a colorless and oily drug. So we know it's a drug, an oily drug. So it's just kind of drug. So here we have whatever comes between commas set off like by any group of words, mostly speaking, any group of words set off by commas or like brackets or dashes and so on. Like mostly speaking, whatever comes between like these two commas or these two brackets, like mostly speaking, like clarifies or modifies or gives us extra information about the word before them, before such a group of words, before such a phrase. You understand that? So here we call it in English punctuation clause. So either like they can define the word directly by saying this is so and so, or like without like using is or are or any definition clause, you can just pay attention to the punctuation clause. Anything that comes between two commas, mostly speaking, is non-essential, which means it is not important. So if people already know nicotine, what nicotine is, they don't know, like this phrase is useless for them, because like they already know what nicotine is. But this phrase is so good for those, so helpful for those who don't know what nicotine is. So in English, whenever any phrase, a group of words, a positive phrase, adjective phrase, a participial phrase, and so on, any kind of adverb phrase or adjective phrase set off by two commas, it means that such a phrase is not essential to understand the meaning. If you already understand the word before it, You know, such a phrase like is not that important if you understand the meaning of the word before it. However, if the word before it is new for you and you don't know it, so for sure, like as I told you, this phrase will be extremely helpful. It will be extremely helpful for you. So at least we know that nicotine is a drug. It's just a drug. So here we have this one. Another also, like here we have another like context clue. We call it synonym. Synonym. What does synonym mean? The word synonym. What does it mean?
Brothers.
Yes, like, you know, meanings. You see meaning when you have a meaning of a word like gigantic. We have the word Titanic. We have the word huge or giant or tremendous. We spoke about the word like happy, delighted, elated, glad, pleased, thrilled. You see, these are synonyms. You know, important, significant, instrumental, functional. Like, you know, these are like, you know, synonyms, more or less synonyms. So sometimes when you have a hard word, the examiner would like to make it easier for you by providing you with its meaning or its synonym. The meaning, the full meaning will be the definition. But here we have synonyms. So we have one word, mostly speaking, one word which has the same exact meaning or like as I told you, a similar meaning. So I have the word here, for example, the word animosity. Let's say that this is the first time to know the word animosity. But for sure, it is not the first time to see the word hate, to know the word hatred, which is that comes from the verb hate. So know what hate means. Okay, so no here animosity means like, you know, to be an enemy or to hate someone. You see, it's like her animosity or hatred. So here we have a hard word and then followed by or. So, and then we have an easy word. So it means, as I told you here, like you see here, or hatred. This phrase here is set off by two commas, which means it is not essential. So why they inserted, why they inserted, they inserted it from the very beginning and in the first place to make it easy for you, to make the word, to clarify the word animosity. Are we lucky enough to have like, you know, such clues all the time? Not necessarily. We use such a clause if the word is really unfamiliar. It's really is like, you know, deeply specialized. Like this word is like related to specific specialization, and they know that most people don't know the meaning, its meaning. So in that case, they add like, you know, a context clue, but not all the time. You see, so here we have the word animosity or. So if we have a hard word followed by or, so most probably the word that follows or has the same meaning as the word before or. Okay, so here we have this one. Another one, we have antonyms. What does antonym mean? The word antonym, what does it mean?
Means the opposite of the opposite meaning
Opposite,
of this
yes. Yes, like what? Can you give me examples of antonyms?
like love and hate.
Yes, very
Hate
good.
is
What
the
else?
antonym of love.
Yes, what else?
Uh, Tall and short.
Tall and short.
Tall and short,
Yes, what
yes.
else?
And
Yeah, just I'd like you to just, you know, like give me more
uh,
examples. Hmm.
of course, far
Mhm.
and near,
Far and near. Very good. What else?
big and small,
Big and small. Big and small. What else?
black and white.
Black and white. Yes. Right and left,
Uh,
up and down. Yes.
yes.
Can we step
Uh,
up? Can we step up?
North and south,
Yes, north and
east
south,
and west.
east and west. What else?
Um,
By the way, this is a good technique to remember the words that you know. You know what I mean? Like sometimes if you have any free time and you'd like to refresh your memory concerning the vocabulary, you know, just on a piece of paper, try to write down all the adjectives you know. The problem is like after like maybe 20 or 30 adjectives, you feel like, oh, this is only what I know. So I mean like this is a good technique to refresh your mind concerning the new not the new the vocabulary that you already know. So can we step up like you know like we said like right and false like correct and incorrect um, um right and left up and down big and small and so on. Can we step up like try to think of like more less commonly used antonyms like like what about like depressing or frustrating and satisfying? For example, the situation was depressing or it was like really satisfying. So what else? Like we said big and small. We can say tiny or tiny and huge, right? Or
mhm.
tremendous. Mm-hmm.
Excited and mellow.
Mm-hmm.
Does this work?
Kind of, but like they're not the same exact opposite, but like yeah. You can say
Shallow
excited
and
and
deep.
bored. You can say excited and bored. Yes. What else?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shallow and deep.
Shallow and deep. Yes. What else?
Just had this one on my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know,
Um,
it's like try when you like before the test and so on, like as a warming up, as a warming up, try to think what are the adjectives and what are their like antonyms. Believe me, it works. It's like you try to like, look for words, like, try to squeeze your mind looking for like antonyms and so on. So,
Yeah, I got another one.
uh,
Active and lazy.
yes, lazy and active, active and
Active.
active.
Uh,
Yes,
Transparent and opaque.
yes, very good. This is scientific, but yes, very good. Yes. Mm. Very good. You like very good. But my point is like try when you after you do that, try to step up. Like try to think of yes, what about like these adjectives that most people do not use? Like and you know them by the way. When you read them, you know them. So here we have antonyms, and antonyms are so important in reading, in writing, and in listening. As I told you, they are turning points. Antonyms are turning points, and most probably, when you have these words in the test, for sure, like whatever comes after them is like a perfect location for the test, for the exam, for questions in the test. So here we have the connecting words. You should look for the word whenever you read quickly as much as you can. But when you reach such words, slow down. When you read such words like however, or in contrast, or by contrast, or yet, or whereas, or while, or on the other side, on the other hand, just slow down and just read carefully. Why? Because there's a question here. There's a question. You have also like and unlike. Unlike is used as like a preposition. It's not a verb. The verb of it like and dislike. If we speak about like as a verb. So here we have this one. For example, we have my sister is extremely neat in appearance while she's like slovenly, slovenly in her housekeeping. What does it mean? Like here, let's say that this is the first time to see the word slovenly. What does it mean?
It means that she takes care of her house, but of her appearance, but not her house.
Yes. So how did you know that? So what does slovenly mean? Like what is the meaning of slovenly here? Day and night. Very good, Ahmed. Loosely, tightly. Loser, yeah, yes, as antonym. Very good. Happiness and sadness. Very good. Yes. Very good, Muhammad. Very good, Ahmed. Very good, Muhammad. Yes. So I have this one. What about slovenly? What does slovenly mean? When you describe someone as slovenly, it means what? Messy. How could we know messy or untidy? Why? Because here we have the word. She said, my sister is extremely neat. Neat. Neat means tidy in appearance. So she looks so good. While this is like a turning point here. This is like a word, a transition referring to contrast. While she's like slovenly in her housekeeping, it means that despite the fact that she looks tidy and she looks neat and elegant, at home, she's not. She's messy and untidy. How could we know? Because this is the opposite of the word neat. For sure, if we don't know what neat means, like we won't understand the sentence. Okay, this is the problem, is that we should know at least one meaning of the words. If we don't know both the meaning of both, like it will be a problem. Like here, I was shocked the last time I saw her. She was skinny, although she had always been obese. What does obese mean? Yes, and how could we know? Like if it is the first time to see the word obese, what does it mean? Hmm?
Obese means very fat,
Yes, yes, like
and
overweight.
usually it means fat and not in a healthy way.
Yes, very good. Like we can say overweight, but like obese means no. Like now it's a health issue. It's a health issue. It is not just like, gaining extra kilos. No, it means like now this person like suffers from health issues. Health problems like mostly speaking, like it's hard for them to breathe, and they can have high blood pressure and we call it hypertension, or diabetes, high blood sugar, and so on. So here, how could you know? Like, let's say that this is the first time to see the word obese. How would you know it's like, it means very fat? Because the word is skinny. Like she said, she was skinny. Like I was shocked the last time I saw her, she was skinny, although she had always been like obese. So it's skinny means extremely thin. So like here, this like also another way to help us understand the meaning of a hard word, like that we see for the first time. So the point is, when you see hard word, don't be afraid. Try to learn how to deal with them. Here we have comparison clause. This is the opposite of, like, let's say antonym, kind of. So here we have a comparison clause when we have when you compare between two things, when you compare between two people, like we just shed light on similarities. So here we can just the connecting words that we should look for, like similarly, as well as both are like, and also can say likewise or like. I can say like, for example, I can say like Egypt, Saudi Arabia is a country in the Middle East. So here we compare, we have here comparison. So here we have this one. For said Miss Johnson is a prim, modest woman. Likewise, many of her friends are very proper. So here we have likewise, and likewise means similarly. Similarly, when we're supposed to use likewise, mostly speaking in writing, you're supposed to use likewise in before the third sentence in body one or body two. You give a topic sentence, and then you, for example, let's say that you'd like to provide two examples. So if you have two examples to support your main idea, and these two examples are similar, so in between we can add similarly or likewise. And here, why it's much better than writing in addition, because like both examples support the main idea and they're not different. You know, you know what I mean? So we use it like usually speaking. We don't use likewise, like unless we have at least three sentences. Like, you know, this is it's used before the third sentence. So here we have, for example, like Miss Johnson, like this is just an example to give you likewise. And for sure, like conjunctive adverbs, conjunctive, we have something called, like we have conjunctions. We have coordinating conjunctions and, or, nor, for, but, yet, and so. We have subordinating conjunction like when, or while, or before, or as soon as, or once, or although, or even though, or unless, or if, you see. And we have correlative conjunction like either or, neither nor, not only but also, and so on, and whether or, and so on. And then we have something called conjunctive adverbs. And believe me, these conjunctive adverbs play a very important role in writing, because they count them. In writing, remember, try conjunctions. Remember, try conjunctions. We always forget them when we speak, and we mostly forget them when we write. Okay, try to use conjunction here. And when we use conjunctive adverb, mostly speaking, can use semicolon before them and comma after them. Like what? Can you try to give me examples of conjunctive adverbs? Just to try to give me examples of conjunctive adverbs that we use. Like when we use them, usually we add a full stop or semicolon before them, semicolon, and after them we use a comma. Do you remember any conjunctive adverbs? Who knows? See? Contrastly. Okay, very good, Abdurrahman. You can also say that. You can say what, like in addition, like you can say like replace these words that replace and, in addition, further, furthermore, moreover, also, additionally, and these words that replace but, like however, you can say nevertheless. By the way, they're not the same, but let's say both of them refer to contrast. We have in contrast, by contrast, on the other side, on the other hand, but on the other side, on the other hand, we don't use them. Mostly we use them at the beginning of a new paragraph, not in the middle of sentences. And it is not wrong to use them in the middle of, between two sentences, but it's better to use them between two paragraphs. And also we have similarly, we have a lot of conjunctive adverbs that we can use to replace and, so, and but. We have also so, instead we can write consequently, subsequently, accordingly, we can say hence or thus. All of them replace so. Okay, so here we have this one. Here we have likewise means similarly. So if we know the meaning of the word proper, we know that prim means what? Like a person who is like a kind of careful, speak and behave in a proper way. This is the word prim, respected. So how do you know the meaning? Because of the word proper here. Because like we compare her to her friends, and we said that her friends are very proper. So a proper person is a respected person who knows how to behave and how to speak in a good way. You see, here we have this one, another context clue that we can use. Here we have the word, we saw it, example clues. And this is really, really good. Like if we don't have definition clues, if we don't have like, antonyms, if we don't have synonyms, if we don't have comparison, so in that case, we can refer to examples to know the meaning. Here we have this one, the word, for example, potentate. What does potentate mean? What does it mean, potentate? Who knows what it means?
I can't hear you. Can you please repeat again?
Yeah, the word potentate, what does it mean? Rulers, very good. Potentate. Here we have such as kings, queens, and emperors. It means what? Rulers in the past. Rulers. Like right now we have presidents, we have kings, right? We have princes, but like here we have like potentates refer to rulers in the past. So let's say this is the first time to know the word potentates. Yes, yeah, it refers to ruling people, the ruling people. Usually speaking, they used to have the absolute power. Okay, so here they were for sure very powerful and wealthy people. So like here, like we look, the clue words here are such as, or like, or for example. Okay, and just speaking of which, like, we use like to refer to examples, but it is not that formal in writing. So if you like to use example clues or to write example clues, it's better to use such as, or for example, or for instance, or to illustrate. You can use for example, or for instance, or to illustrate. It's much better than the word like. Like is spoken more than written. You see, here you have this one. We have also the word reptiles. Let's say that some people do not know what reptiles are, like they don't know what the word reptiles means. Means. So what does reptile mean? The word reptile, what does it mean? If we have here the word such as snakes, lizard, and crocodile, it refers to a group, category of animals that mostly speaking, they don't have legs and use speaking, they just start crawling. So we have this one, reptiles, you know, الزواحف. You got it? So how could we know? Because of the examples after it. The examples after it. And believe me, in IELTS not that IELTS exam is not as hard as the international TOEFL exam, like as IBT. In IBT, there's like some kind mean, like people there are mean. I mean, people who prepare the exams. Yeah, for sure, it has techniques also, and people can just navigate them. But the point is, I mean, like in IELTS exam, if they have really hard words, they try to clarify them. But if, like, you know, if when you start reading, if you think that most of the passage like is hard to you, like most of the words in the passage are hard, so it means like you need to read more. It means that you need to practice more. Okay, because for sure they can never clarify every single word. They clarify the words as I told you, which is like specialized, like has like this kind is like restricted to a specific category, specific specialization, and people are not familiar with. So they clarify such words. So here we have this one example clues, and here we have another clues. Here we have this one. Also, we can have implied meaning. Like we can have implied meaning. So like we don't have, let's say that we don't have definition clues, we don't have examples, we don't have synonyms, we don't have antonyms, we don't have punctuation clues. You know, what should we do? We should try to figure it out. So you have the word like the lizard was lethargic, that I wasn't sure if it was alive or dead. It didn't even blink. This is inference. Try to infer the meaning. So what do you think it means, the word lethargic?
It implies no activity or
Yes.
no movement.
Yes, and you have just mentioned that active and lazy, right?
Yes, I did.
So if it's this one like implies like lack of activities, so what it means? What does it mean then?
Um,
The lizard was
lazy,
so what? Yeah, extremely lazy.
out of energy or
Yes,
doesn't have any
lazy.
energy.
Yeah, lazy. Like, you know, it doesn't move. Motion.
Standing still.
Yes, yeah, motionless. Lethargic means like, you know, lazy, not interested in any kind of activities and so on. So how could we know? Like this is called inference. This is inference. So whenever you have any hard word in the test, you don't have time to, by the way, you won't have time to understand the meaning of every single word. But like the idea here is just to try to figure them out. Try to figure these words out and don't panic. I mean, don't panic. Like, I mean, they say, oh, I don't understand the meaning. So yeah, and for sure, if you have any hard words in the middle of the sentence, it starts with a capital letter. So it means this word is a proper noun. It could be a noun of a place, a book, anything. It's a proper noun. The meaning is like totally useless. We don't need it at all. So like and in IELTS also, in IELTS and in other exams as well, but specifically in IELTS part 2, passage 2 in reading, you might come across a lot of names. Sometimes you have this question. I just like to do it with you, inshallah, also as well. And if not today, maybe next time. Passages that contains a lot of scientists and a lot of names of institutes, schools, like universities and so on. So like try to skip all of them. You know, they try to like, you know, make the sentences like some questions are time consuming. They try to add like sometimes hard words. They try to add a very hard word to pronounce, like this technique in order to slow you down. So try to overcome such problem by trying to figure them out, and don't panic. Just know that this word, it might mean so and so. Okay, it might mean
I've
so.
heard before a term called skim reading.
Yes.
Is this something that we can practice?
Yeah, sure. The most important reading techniques are skimming and scanning. You know what does a skim mean? Like, you know, to skim it. What does it mean to read quickly? When, like, not so some questions, like we can use this technique with some question, like what, like a list of headings. You can use such technique. Like actually, this technique that like the one that you should use in this kind of question. In general, IELTS question in any reading questions, can be divided broadly into categories. Number one, like scanning questions, the questions that asks for detail, the questions that ask for details. This one, no, you can never scan them. You have to look for details. This is scanning. And when scanning means what you read quickly to look for the specific details that you're like, you know, you're trying to reach. And skim reading means what, like, for example, let's say that you're supposed to summarize a whole book. You can never look for details. Like if you'd like to summarize a whole essay, which is like so long, let's say it's 1,000 words. So you are not supposed to read every single word. So in that case, you can read the beginning of each paragraph only. You know, you can just skip the details. So when it comes to IELTS exam, for sure, they make sure that you use both of them. Scanning and skimming. Skimming, like, you know, you have a good, like you keep reading quickly in order to know the main ideas in general. So anything related to the main ideas, like it's okay. For sure, you can use skimming techniques. you know, but like not all question, like let's say a question asking about a specific activity in a specific year, skimming, like, you know, won't work here. It doesn't work here. But like if you ask, if you need like the main ideas, it's okay. You can use the skimming. And even the questions that I told you, locating the information. The problem with such locating the information question is that, as I told you, it takes time. Yes, yes, yeah, very good. Yeah,
See.
yes, you see it. So here you have this one. But just, you know, also like put into account that some techniques, like some words can be like not all words are clarified in the passage, as I told you. Okay, so there are some limitations. You can never just say, okay, I don't have to memorize any new words. I don't have to practice. I will try to depend on context clues. Again, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to have like any background with you. You have to practice with, you know, if those who would like, yeah, sorry, those who would like to have a IELTS exam, believe me, they need to practice. IELTS can be very depressing, by the way, if you don't practice. You see what I mean? I mean, like if you don't practice it, like it can be very depressing. Why? Because like I have some students, like they keep, you know, postponing it. Like they that we think that you are not, we think that you are not here. Like, you know, I'd like you to do this one. We can do it together. Like, I don't think it will take time. It's easy, so we can just cover it now. For example, like you can do this one. Okay, here. Is it clear? This one, is it clear?
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay. So now let's try. Let's try. This one is easy, and mostly speaking, it's about antonym. If you like, I can send you a lot of worksheets for such things. I mean, like context clues. But like, remember, context clues is not the main goal. The main goal is trying to figure the meaning of hard words when you read an IELTS exam. Okay, so for example, let's try. Here we have the first word. Who can answer it and why?
Yes, okay, I can try.
Yes, okay, try.
Okay, while she was indifferent to golf, her husband was an avid fan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so which one should I answer? The indifferent or avid?
Avid. Like here we have,
Avid.
yeah, you see, remember,
Uh-huh.
um, we as Arab people who don't read the questions, never, we never, like, you know, pay attention to the instructions. And believe me, out of the,
Yeah, yes, you're right. I
remember,
get you
yes,
now. Yes,
yes,
we
yes,
never do. Yes,
never
we
do. I
jump
remember,
directly to the question.
yes, and
Okay.
this is like the British. There was a British man. The first thing he hinted at, like he was this one, like, and he was smart. He was so smart. When we started the workshop, he was like supposed to give workshops to teachers to teach them how to teach IELTS. I was one of the teachers. So he started, like, he distributed some handouts, and each divided us into groups, and then he said each group is supposed to like, you know, to do this activity. And what was the activity? Like we had every group had 20 questions to answer. Okay, and we were like very competitive, and each group wanted to finish extremely fast. And he sat down. I remember that he sat down. He like, you know, and he kept waiting for us, and we kept, like, you know, trying to finish it as soon as we can. To finish all the questions. The question is, what is the capital of so? What part of speech this word is? Like, what is the synonym of such word? What is the antonym of such word? And anyways, like after we finished, all of us, with no exception, after we finished the activity, he smiled and he said, "Did you read the instructions?" And no one answered. What was the instruction? He said, "Do not answer any question, just read them." So no one, we couldn't even like, we couldn't say a single word. Like the instructions, like, no, that added on the top of the page, like, do not answer the questions, just read them and thank you. No one read that part. We already started by answering the question. So it was a living proof that we do not read the instructions at all. And like, believe me, no one even said like, wait, we have to read what you're supposed to do. No, like, and I remember he was so confident, and he gave us that kind of look that I know it. So we can never just like, you know, replied like, oh no,
He knew what was going to happen before it.
he knew. Yeah, actually, he was like a seasoned teacher. He was a seasoned teacher. He know, like, he knew it, you know. So he just sat down and he kept waiting for us. And after we finished it, that, have you read the instructions? And then it was the first time when we read them, like one of the instructions said that do not answer any question. We answered them all. And he said that that's it. Like he said, like one of the mistakes that students make, and apparently even teachers, you don't pay attention to an instruction. He don't have the instruction. He said circle the word that mostly closely matching the underlined word. Okay, and to be frank, I didn't give you time to read the instructions. Yes, so here we have this one. So here we have the word indifferent, and we have the word avid. The word
Okay.
indifferent, just to help you try to figure it out. What does indifferent mean? The word indifferent, what does it mean?
Indifferent, I think it means neutral.
It's less even. It's less. Neutral means to be impartial, not to take sides, to be objective. So neutral is like, you know, to be in between. Indifferent means like
It
don't.
means that she is not.
Mhm.
She is used to play golf. She is not new to
No,
it.
no, no. Indifferent means what? She doesn't like it. She doesn't care. It makes no difference to her.
Uninterested?
No, not
Oh,
interested. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it means like if I said I'm indifferent, like if I said I met some indifferent students, it means what? Like it doesn't make any difference to them. Like I mean, like studying, having or not studying, having low scores, like having high scores, they're indifferent. They don't care. Okay, it means what? They don't care. So here we have what
I
is the
think.
opposite? Yeah. So here avid is the opposite of the word indifferent. So what does avid mean?
I think it means C, eager.
Yes, very good. And we use the word avid, by the way, with another word, avid van or what? Have you ever seen
Um,
avid before?
I've heard this word before
Yes, we
in a
use it.
song.
Yes,
It meant the sentence was avid listener,
avid
someone
listener
who's
and yes, an avid reader.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
very good, Abdurrahman. Very good. Careless, yes. Indifferent means careless or the person who doesn't care. Yes. If I said he's different, if I said my son is is so indifferent, it means he doesn't care. Indifferent, a person who doesn't care. Neutral is kind of more positive than indifferent. Indifferent, mostly speaking, is negative. You know, a person like it make remember indifferent means this person like nothing makes difference to him. So here we have the word avid. Avid reader means a person who reads a lot. Avid listener, it means a sincere listener. Avid fan. It means a fan like who truly likes it. So she doesn't care about it, but her husband like as an eager fan. He likes it so much. Yes. What about this one? The word detrite. Let's say that this is the first time to know the word to see the word detrite. What does trite mean? Let's say what is the opposite of fresh?
Bland.
Yes. So right here, yeah, fresh means like a good idea, a new idea, right? Innovative, you know, innovative. Fresh here means innovative. I can say a fresh idea. It means a new idea, and like innovative. It's no one ever had thought about it. So now, what is the opposite of it, right? So what do you think, right here? What it means? Special, loud, happy, common. Which one?
Common.
Yes, very good, very good. Yes. Why? Because like know the word fresh. Like so try it means what? Like it's common. It is not that fresh. Everyone knows it or knows about it. Yes. Here we have this one. Suspicious. And we have the word gullible. What does suspicious mean? Suspicious.
We don't trust him.
Yes, very good. Suspicious. You can say suspicious means like you don't believe others easily, right? If someone like if you describe someone, you can say I'm suspicious means what? I have my own doubts, right?
I think the answer is careful, number D.
Careful? No, the opposite of careful is careless. Gullible doesn't mean
Doom.
careless. It means what?
Gullible
What is
is
the opposite?
someone who believes anything easily.
Yes,
Who don't care.
yes, like kind of naive. You know, naive? Naive.
Tazig.
Yes, yes. So,
Doomed.
word here, yeah, which word here, like when you, if you, let's say that you don't remember this word, which word is the opposite of suspicious? The opposite,
Trusting.
yeah, trusting. Yes, very good. Careful is not the opposite of suspicious. Careful is something good. And actually, sometimes to be careful is to be suspicious. You know, in some context, suspicious and careful can be synonym in some context. Yeah, so trusting. Gullible means what? Like naive. You can say naive, a person who believes everyone or everything easily. Yes, what about this one? We have the word reclusive and we have the word outgoing. What is the opposite of outgoing? Reclusive. What does reclusive mean? Mm.
I think withdrawing.
Yes, withdrawn. Yes, very good. Reclusive means what? Staying alone, introvert. Like, you know, introvert is a noun. This is an adjective. So I can say James is very outgoing. It means a person who likes going out a lot, who likes meeting new people. He's kind of extrovert. His older brother is very reclusive. It means like reserved or secretive or antisocial. So here we have withdrawn, like, you know, a person who lofty, like a person who prefers to stay alone. Yes, very good. What about number 5? Yes, this one is easy. This one, we know abhor and we have
Uh,
loved. Abhorred and loved. What is the opposite of loved?
I think I start to understand the better.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is antonym.
Number
Yes.
5 is D. Hated.
Hated. Yes. You know, here we have, so abhor means what? To hate. Like we have what? We have like, love, and adore. You know, and we have dislike, hate, and abhor. Like this.
Amal, in this question, I only concentrate about the colored word. Omar, I don't
no.
even read the whole sentence.
Yeah, you should, here, like, in order to answer this one, you should know the opposite of the colored word, the opposite colored word, or the meaning of the underlined word. And
Yes.
like the aim of this technique is to enable you to get new words and to try to figure them yourself, figure the meaning out, like, by yourself. You
Yes,
see?
and answer quickly.
Yeah, and answer quickly. Adept. What is the meaning of adept? If it's the first time to use the word adept, we have adapt, we have adopt, and we have adept. So what is the meaning of the word adept? What it means?
I think it means
Muhammad?
skilled.
Skilled, yes, skillful, yeah, adept, yes, very good. So, you answered it already. I didn't know that like skilled was written here. Yeah, very good. Yes, you answered it.
I
Yes.
answered it because of the word failure. I got it as an antonym.
Yeah, but I didn't know that the word skill is written here. I thought that like, you know it before. Yeah, very good. Yes.
No, to be
Yeah.
honest, Mo, I didn't know this word before.
Yes. Yeah, it's good. Like these techniques, by the way, I mean, like these workshops are good. If you feel like, if you are fed up with like IELTS exams, you can do such things. Like you can answer such, like take such worksheets. Try to try them. Try to take them. Yes, you have instead of a grimace, like that lady had a big smile across his face. So what is the opposite of smile?
Hate.
Yes, like
Frown.
frown. Yes, what does frown mean? When feel angry or sad or somehow, and like you have this facial expression indicating your anger or sadness. Yes. So this one. So it doesn't mean like grin, because also grin means a smile. Okay, so we have this one, like she was, and like you can say agile or agile, like dancer, although her partner was quite clumsy. So what is the meaning of the word like agile, and what is the opposite of the word clumsy?
I think the answer is number C, shy.
See, shy? No. Agile doesn't mean shy. The opposite of agile, not shy. Like
Agile means nimble.
nimble, yes. Like clumsy, like he doesn't move like agile means like a person, like ballerinas, or like very light animals that move very quickly, gracefully. This is agile. So she dances really well, and she's able to move very quickly, and her partner was quite clumsy. He doesn't know how to move well. So it doesn't mean shy. Shy means a person who is kind of timid. You see? And I can say the opposite also, like here we have the word nimble. So clumsy means what? Like he doesn't move in a smooth way. Okay, so today, like as I told you, we're covering context clues. So starting like inshallah, after like the link times out, we're going to highlight the mistakes in the introductions. All of them, I downloaded all of them. So inshallah, we'll try our best to cover them all. And when we discussing it, I just like you to tell me which one you think better than others, and which one like what should we do to improve them. You see, if we covered them and we still have time, we can have either